Today we're going to talk about someone who you rarely hear about in your history books. His name is Nikola Tesla. You all hear of Thomas Edison and how he's basically the master of electricity. I mean, he invented the light bulb. But who made it possible to get the electricity to your home to power the light bulb? That would be Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was a Serbian electrical engineer and a physicist. And when he first moved to the U.S., he actually worked for Thomas Edison in his shop. And while Tesla was working under Edison, the problem came up of how to transport electricity to people's homes to power the light bulbs. Tesla suggested to Edison that it would probably be better to use AC current as opposed to the DC current that Edison was trying to use. Well, Edison took it as a joke and basically laughed in Tesla's face. And Tesla didn't take it very likely. Soon after the incident, he left Edison's shop and went out on his own. And he had a lot of financial backing from people who had faith in him and his idea and his designs. With that financial backing, Tesla came up with the first patents for an AC induction motor and the first patents for an electrical transformer. George Westinghouse hired Tesla to use these two patents and design the first system for electrical transport to people's homes. And Tesla accomplished this with AC current, which left Edison scratching his head in Tesla's dust. Tesla came up with many inventions and breakthroughs in the world of physics and electricity. He developed such things as wireless transmission that made it possible to have radios, remote control cars, remote control television, and even cell phones. Satellite television. This invention is one that eventually led to the end of Nikola Tesla, so to say. This was the rest of his life's work, was trying to accomplish wireless transmission. He built giant beams called Tesla coils that would emit AC current. And he developed a lot of appliances and things that you could use with it. He invented a light bulb that you could hold in your hand, and it would glow as long as you were in the room with the Tesla coil. It didn't even have to have a plug or anything. You just hold it in your hand. But he never could develop it on a large scale, which is what he was trying to do. He drained all of his financial backing after years of failed attempts and unsuccessful experiments. Most of his financial backers left and said, we're not giving you any more money because we're not getting anything out of it. So Tesla had to start selling off a lot of his AC current patents and electrical patents and to try to make extra financial backing for his Tesla coils that he was building. And one of his last patents was actually to try to make extra money. He started trying to build things for the government. And his very last patent was called a biplane. It was an airplane that would lift vertically and take off. And this is in 1928. So that tells you how far ahead of his time he actually was. He was sort of a Da Vinci of his time. Tesla never perfected his idea of wireless transmission, and people say that actually made him go crazy. He started making crazy claims of building a death ray, and he actually told the U.S. government that he built a death ray, and he tried to sell it to them, and whenever some government officials came to look at his drawings and idea to see if it was something that was worth buying, Tesla couldn't produce any drawings. He said someone broke into his hotel room and stole them, and the government asked him just to replicate them, just to redo them, and he never could reproduce any drawings. So people just kind of assumed that he went crazy. And he actually died a pretty shameful death. He was broke. People thought he was crazy. You know, he had no money at all because he put all his money into trying to perfect wireless transmission. But even though he died that shameful death, without him, we would not have microwaves, cell phones, x-rays, television, radio, XM radio, or even have electricity in your home to power your light bulbs. It was pretty significant considering that it's someone who you rarely ever even hear of. And I think it's someone that we should probably include into our history books.